Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 47 of Sights on Sinnoh as we get to the finale of the Wallace Cup. And joining me this week is none other than our local Wallace expert, Greg. How's it going?
Hello, I am doing well. I'm glad I'm here for Wallace to show up for about a minute.
How do you feel about Wallace making his appearance in Gen 4 as opposed to his home generation of Gen 3?
I mean, as long as they got there,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with it.
Okay.
I mean,
That makes sense to me.
Wallace is too powerful to be contained in one generation.
Of course, of course.
It is strange that the Wallace Cup isn't in Hoenn because it's named after Wallace.
Right. Well, they do explain that traditionally the cup is in either Kanto or Hoenn, so this is the first time it's been featured in Sinnoh. And of
Why would
course,
it be in Kanto?
because Kanto's the only other place that we've been to that has contests, and also had a Gen 3 remake, so I guess.
Just keep it. Make people come to you, Wallace.
Yeah.
You are better than this.
Look, he probably has these regions fighting each other for which one's gonna get it. It's like the World Cup or Olympics or something.
It's like the Olympics, and Wallace
Exactly.
leaves devastation wherever he goes. Ruined cities from the Wallace Cup.
Just husks of beauty that are never to be seen again.
Have also tried to look up what the exact rules are for who you can bring to the Wallace Cup. So I thought, surely it must be water types only. But then I was watching these episodes, and I'm like, or not. What is the rule?
There
It's
is
just a contest.
You would think, but there is no rule. Well, I will say I think there's a strong water type bias going on.
Well, there's a giant pool of water.
Yeah.
You think, okay, it's going to be a water. You
like,
have to bring water Pokemon.
Aggron can learn Surf. Everything's out the window. Okay? Like, anything that can take advantage of the water is perfectly fine here. And hey, maybe that's the strat. Maybe you bring something that's not water to stand out, but still is like very good in the aquatic environment. But anyway, we're gonna jump into episode 24 or 25 and 26 of Battle Dimension. First one titled "Strategy with a Smile," and we are jumping into the semifinal round of the Wallace Cup, where we have Dawn's Piplup battling against Kyle's Crawdaunt. Dawn breaks out one of her trusted strategies using Whirlpool to envelop the Crawdaunt, but that doesn't do much as it breaks through with Surf. And we're literally just jumping in where we left off the previous episode. This person has defeated Ash in the quarterfinals, and now it's up to Dawn to take him down if she wants to get to the final stage.
I feel like beating Ash in a contest is not that big of an achievement.
Sure, that's fair. He did also use a lantern, which I don't know why he isn't using that now. Because, lantern has like the advantage type-wise.
Right. I mean, that's how you show off, right?
Mm-hmm. And here he shows off by using a Dark Pulse, which he just launches from like both of his claws.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice. But Piplup uses it to its advantage by spinning between the two, and then also using Bide to collect the energy. So,
yeah.
New use of Bide.
God bless the anime for just being like, sure.
Bide that knows no rules. It's going.
Not actually getting hit, it's just siphoning off the power, because that's Bide.
I think it's like slightly grazing him is what I interpreted from it. But it works in his favor, using the power of the Dark Pulse back at Crawdaunt, surprising the coordinator, and he loses a ton of points for that, knocking it back into the water, and that's it. That's the battle.
Yeah, it's like Whirlpool, Surf, Dark Pulse, Bide, Crab Hammer,
And then the end. He
And
just
the
gets
end.
knocked out. Right.
And then, hooray, Dawn wins.
Yes, all the judges are impressed somewhat. I don't know why. This was super short. Wallace does say just excellent. And truly a marvelous battle, but he'll say that to anyone at this point if they use a water type. And this is where we just move on to the next round between May and Zoe. What did you think about this matchup before we went into it?
Put out there that I don't like May's outfit.
Interesting. How come?
It feels a little cultural appropriation-y.
Yeah. It looking back at it now, it's very like, why?
And why? It's because I don't think it's her normal costume either.
Well, she doesn't have a normal costume because Gen 3 didn't have that.
Right.
So they gave her something,
They
and
gave her something, and it just feels weird.
right,
It also
like
feels like I'm not a fan of midriffs on an 11-year-old. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah,
And
I know.
it feels like this isn't like Hoenn has an island feel. I feel
Mhm.
like an islandy thing would have fit more than sort of like the weird pseudo deserty thing.
Yeah,
that
it's
they
like the
have
exact
going on.
opposite of the theme here.
Yeah, it's just like it also doesn't make her hair look good.
Mhm.
It's just weird. I'm like, I mean, I like May, but I just do
Mhm.
not like this outfit, and it bothered me the entire time. I mean, I think the Glameow and
Beautifly?
Beautifly fight was good.
Yes.
Again, neither of these have anything to do with the water.
Mhm.
So,
Well, mhm.
why?
Well, arguably, they use the water in
They do,
unexpected ways.
and then a cat is like in the water, which is never a thing that happens.
Yeah,
And
Ash even points it out, actually.
yeah, and then they're just like, okay, now electrify everything in the water. I'm like, you do know you're in the water too when you're sending out electricity.
Hey, if you're producing the electricity, you're fine.
Sure. Tell that to every appliance that has fallen into water. Oh no, you make the electricity, so therefore you're immune to the fact that it's going to fry you out. Overall, I think that was a good battle. I think it
Yeah,
showed the difference between May and Zoe very well and how they approach battling.
right. You get someone who's a bit of a veteran. I like that she's using Beautifly for a few reasons. We haven't seen her use Beautifly since Hoenn. She actually left it behind when she went to the Battle Frontier with Ash and Kanto, and I feel like it could have used more screen time. This is how we're getting it. And it's also just her oldest Pokemon that she's caught besides Blaziken. So some just nice things there I enjoyed. The strategy at the beginning with Glameow missing Beautifly and surrounding it with water to then shock it with Shockwave showed how cunning Zoe can be, which I really thought was a highlight. May feels like she's on the fence for that first half of the battle until she turns it around with a psychic to the face of Glameow.
Yeah.
And
Also, I like to think like Glameow's like sparking electricity. Like
yes,
Glameow looks so beautiful and also so sinister, and I'm like, I think it's just sinister.
right.
Glameow is looking like it is going to murder pretty much everybody here because it's a wet cat.
It looks like it fried its brain a little too much with that
It's
shockwave.
not happy. It's a wet cat.
It's very clearly. It's like Zoe, you owe me big time for that.
Yeah, it's like we're gonna have words after this.
My words are going to be 3 claws.
Shadowclaw, Shadowclaw, Shadowclaw. To your
Exactly.
face. And also, you even lose. You got me wet and you lose.
Right? Not worth it. And during the battle, everyone's like it's kind of a good back and forth between who wins. As we get Beautifly kind of recovering from that shockwave using Morning Sun, and then the battle finishes up with an aerial ace for Shadowclaw. So I think it's cool that they got Beautifly a bunch of new moves because before it was super limited. They had like Tackle, String Shot, and Gust.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, it really only keeps Silverwind with it, which is its signature move. And at the end of this battle, when Aerial Ace and Shadowclaw face off, we get May as the winner with maybe like 10% more points than Zoe.
Yeah.
So fairly even, I'd say. And this shows us that we're moving on to the next round with May and Dawn. And I love this little moment here when they both realize they're going to the second round, and May's like, May, it's like me and Dawn in the finals. And Dawn's like, me and May in the finals?
Finals? How the heck did this happen? I'm a veteran. And she has won nothing.
Yeah.
Her mom doesn't even like her.
Her mom is watching the TV and she gets a great moment.
I have no idea. Like, they had a good thing, and then, like, what... She brings Piplup, of course.
Yes.
And did May... I don't remember when May got Glaceon.
Yeah,
is this like a reveal? Or is this and now it's a Glaceon? I don't remember what happened.
This reveal happened at the beginning of this arc where she arrives here and she tells our heroes like, hey, I've been in Sinnoh for 3 days because I went to Snowpoint City first with my Eevee.
Aha, so we can touch the magic stone.
Yes, we get a little flashback of that as well. So we see what that icy rock looks like in the anime. Eevee is a Pokemon that she got while traveling in Kanto as an egg, actually. So it's nice to see it like do more than just be really adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Like back then, they're just like, hey, give it Shadow Ball, give it Dig or something, it'll be fine. But here it's like, no, let's like see the full potential of one of its evolutions, which I thought was nice.
They have like they have a cutaway to all the people watching on TV, which was a nice like, hey, here's a bunch of supporting characters.
Yeah, because the MC says, oh yeah, May's competing in the Johto region right now, and we see her family back in Pelleberg, and then we see all her rivals back in Johto, who are also competing there at the moment. Though it does kind of bring into question why none of the other rivals came to compete in this, and not just May.
Look, they're busy.
They're busy watching her!
They're busy watching her. They're like, what? I mean, also, they probably didn't have the money.
Oh, okay.
Saved up to travel to Sinnoh, and they're like, we're broke. We've been buying costumes.
May's using government money that her dad's getting paid.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. There we go. May brings out Glaceon against Dawn's Piplup. And I'm like, I really want both of them to win just because I like both these Pokemon.
Yeah, they're both very good. I mean, Piplup has to win because Piplup's the best character.
Exactly, yeah.
I mean, it's just a foregone conclusion that Piplup is the best and going to win.
And Piplup starts off with a spinning bubble beam, which leaves like impact across the water as it goes across the battlefield. Glaceon dodges it and lands on the other side of the water using secret power right onto Piplup. And it's able to paralyze it because, according to Brock, if it's on stage, it will paralyze your opponent, or at least it has a chance of doing that. Secret power has been used somewhat frequently in this part of the season, and they keep having to re-explain it, and
because it doesn't make sense.
It's just not consistent.
Powers are so weird. In the games, you're like, okay, what am I standing on, and what does it actually consider? Like, it's so weird. It's one of those powers. It's like, okay, like in buildings or plain terrain, it does this thing, and then sand, and then cave. Cave is different than sand, and rock is different than cave. And
Yeah.
tall grass is different than long grass, and pond water is different than sea water, which is different than underwater, which is different than. It's like, come on! And then they added snow and ice in Gen 4. It's like this move doesn't make sense.
It's a lot. And then you also have nature power, which I'm like, just use that. That's
It's
so much
nature power.
easier.
Nature power makes sense because
Mhm.
it's pretty consistent across the board.
I think the idea with secret power in Gen 3 is because you can make bases in a ton of different areas. They want to say like, oh, there's like a difference in effect
Right.
because of that, but it just doesn't.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't
hard
make
to.
practical sense.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with in the games. It's hard to deal with here.
Mhm.
Like it's just like, okay, well, what move? And they kind of, it's like they play with that a little bit in this battle
Mhm.
because it's like, oh, it was on ground, so it's paralyzed, and then later, oh nope, it was touching water, so it's different.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
Brock says specifically if it's on stage, and I'm like, but that's like a human construct. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm assuming they're going off the fact that they're considering on stage the same as building, which does cause paralysis in the real move.
okay. But then just
And
say that at that point.
right, like whatever. It's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool that they try to use it, but it just is convoluted because the rules keep changing. And like
Also,
mhm.
how does jumping into the water get rid of paralysis?
Right. I was wondering that too. Like they just kind of brush over that fact,
Yeah.
but
I mean, Pip-Up goes in and is sinking, and then suddenly goes blah, and it's out of paralysis. And I'm like, what?
yeah.
Did I miss you eating a berry? Because that would have made sense.
They hid a berry under the stage and just secretly ate it. Like it's a whole plan.
Got it.
Um, but yeah, Piplup dives into the water to avoid some ice shards, and it just magically gets cured of its paralysis. And we get a very menacing look on Glaceon.
Oh yeah,
I was like, "Geez,
Glaceon's gonna wreck house in about 2 seconds. Like how dare?
like we know who's the villain now of this battle."
It's May.
Yes, clearly.
So I mean, God, I do get tired
Mhm.
of them never really getting all that interesting with Whirlpool. Like
Yeah.
much of the time, the animation they use across multiple episodes is the same Whirlpool animation, a Piplup looking up in the Whirlpool,
Mhm.
heading up. And they usually just sort of like make the background one color so they can use
Yeah.
it multiple times. And I'm like, this just feels lazy.
Mhm.
And then they whip the Whirlpool, and Glaceon's like, Mirror Coat.
Yeah.
Ha!
May knew it was coming. She's like, "Oh yeah, well
I've
we're gonna use some of that power."
I've watched all of your episodes. I know this is the move you use for literally everything.
I have the advantage because no one showed my contest in Johto.
Right.
It is nice to see this move used though. Like Wallafit uses it sometimes, and that's about it. But it's just a really niche, neat little move that, when used correctly, can be super cool. And the fact that like Glaceon uses it is like, oh, that's
I
interesting. It's
just
like interpretation of the ice reflecting.
don't know why Glaceon didn't also use Mirror Coat for the follow-up Bubble Beam.
Right. Because then Piplup runs in with the bubble beam. I'm assuming it was just not expecting it to come that fast. It's probably easier to see a huge whirlpool than like all these little bullet bubbles coming at you.
Sure.
Piplup then jumps in the air to dodge a shadow ball, and as it's coming in for the landing, May follows up with another secret power. And since they're in the water, it's expected to maybe go to sleep.
Which
But
isn't what it does in water.
it's not, right? It's like, what?
That's grass. Water
Yeah.
lowers the attack by one stage. Nobody in the world even knows how secret power works.
But what's funny is we saw a B-Barrel use secret power to the same effect, and it put Ash's Churchwick to sleep like 5 or 6 episodes ago. So I don't know what's going on there. Piplup goes flying into the air from the secret power, but is not affected seemingly, so it just kind of lands back down in a very ballerina style, which is kind of nice. And I'm like, okay, good, finally, because every time we've seen Secret Power, it's had an effect, like a side effect. And that's only supposed to happen like 30% of the time.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, yay. we can settle that now, that it's not just like 100% chance of doing something. Glaceon then follows up with Shadow Ball and does a cool spin to knock it forward with its tail, giving it more momentum. And as it goes through Piplup, he uses Bubble Beam to break through the Shadow Ball and then also surround Glaceon in Whirlpool, which reminds me a bit of the game's animation for Whirlpool, actually. After this, Piplup goes in with a Peck, and Glaceon is able to dodge and hit it with some Ice Shard, except we see a cool new take on Whirlpool as it uses it as a shield.
Yeah, about time. Like,
yeah,
that for a while.
Right? I'm like, oh, that's awesome! Like, we finally like get a more creative use for it, other than just offense.
Just surprised that like
mm-hmm.
not once did May be like, let's take away the water advantage and just freeze the pool with Ice Shard. Like,
right?
not once. So that you have an ice type.
I would have preferred it, like Ice Beam versus Secret Power.
Yeah, none of that. I didn't have time to learn that between the Rock and here. She couldn't find the TM.
It learned Ice Shard and Mirror Cope. I was like, no. Ice Beam's too complicated.
Ice Beam's what's tough.
What's weird is her War Turtle does know Ice Beam, so shouldn't be that hard. Come on, May.
Get it together, May.
Piplup then steals the show once again by jumping on the Whirlpool and riding it like Static Shock or something, and it looks great.
Yeah.
Just a cool little moment, like of it basically like surfing, and the crowd goes wild, which is awesome. And then Glaceon counters with another Shadow Ball. Piplup jumps off the Whirlpool, and in the exploding water, as using it as cover, it goes in with a Bubble Beam right to the face. And then we get kind of the closing part of this battle as Glaceon uses Shadow Ball, and then Piplup breaks through it using Peck. But instead of just like exploding, it kind of creates a black wall around energy, which hides Glaceon's Ice Shard, and that just throws Piplup out of the air. So I thought that was a cool little back and forth of similar techniques, I guess. Now, what do you think about this part of Dawn thinking through her final move, and May as well?
I mean, again, I like it when they have character moments like this.
Okay.
Like, I like it when they like show their thought processes for a little bit, even though, look, you can think whatever you want. Rules don't apply in this thing, so do whatever. But I do like I like that they both felt evenly matched, and they both felt like I have to do the thing to push me over the edge. Like, neither one of them was like, I have this on lockdown.
Right.
Which is sort of a nice moment between those two. Just sort of like, it's not really a good moment for me because like you've been winning contests forever. But it's a good moment for Dawn to not like be completely nervous and freaking out, but like, oh hey, what do I do to win this? And like they're both have like, it shows that they're both thinking like pro contest people, which I liked.
Definitely. I do kind of like this for May because there are moments in Hoenn where she gets overconfident, and seeing this contrast where she's not thinking she's about to win, where instead she thinks like, okay, what's my opponent's going to do and how am I going to respond to this, because that's going to matter. And we see that Dawn's thinking that she can't just use small attacks on May and she has to go in for a big one. And May's thinking there isn't a lot of time left, so Dawn's going to go in for a big attack. But it doesn't feel too forced that they're like, like I'm reading each other's minds or something. It's kind of just like logical, which is nice.
Yeah.
So Piplup starts off with another big whirlpool, and May's like, aha, use Mirako to reflect it. But it looks like Glaceon is not able to completely reflect it, as it still gets pushed back. But also the whirlpool pushes back Piplup as well. So the battle ends with both of them kind of taking damage from that big flashing move. And the winner of the Wallace Cup final, as we get a suspenseful look at the audience, May's mom, I mean, Dawn's mom. Well, also May's mom. All the moms are here.
All the
except
moms
Ash.
show up.
Yes. And with like a sliver of points left, Dawn takes the Wallace Cup ribbon. AKA the Aqua ribbon.
This is her second one. Is this the second one?
Yep, her second ribbon.
Yeah.
So May comforts Glaceon, who looks kind of sad that they lost, but it cheers up a bit after that. May congratulates her, and Dawn is in disbelief. She's like,
I
We
can't
what?
believe I did it. I've lost every other time up until this point.
She has a 50% win rate right now with this ribbon. Everyone praises what happened there on the judges' side, and Wallace again. Well, actually, I don't think Wallace says anything here. He actually saves his comment for the award ceremony, where he gives Dawn the ribbon by by having Milotic like levitated over to her using Dragon Balls. I think.
I don't even know. I'm like, what is happening? What is Milotic doing?
Because, okay, we did get Milotic using its moves in an earlier episode here, and they had like Dragon Pulse, Aqua Ring, Twister, and something else. So it was Safeguard. And I'm like, well, it's using one of those animations, but I don't know which one. It's Dragon Pulse or Aqua Ring. Yeah, I'm guessing Aqua Ring because it's like small.
It's gotta be Aqua Ring,
right? It's just like, why would you use it like this? Like, what?
But also, doesn't like this Milotic know like 5 moves?
What? Wait, Aqua Ring?
Because it's got Aqua Ring, Dragon Pulse, Safeguard, Twister, and Hydro Pump, which is 5.
No, not Hydro Pump actually.
It uses Hydro Pump at the end.
Does it? Oh, maybe for
create a geyser glittery effect.
Oh, I forgot that moment. I guess it forgot Safeguard or something.
I immediately forgot Safeguard to learn Hydro Pump in the 0.2 seconds.
Or
it's
or just kept Aqua Ring and like forgot something in between, I guess, for Hydro Pump. It works. Well, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't say Hydro Pump, right? Maybe he's just like using
right. Who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's Hydro Pump, right? But whatever.
That makes the most sense for sure. And Jessie, who's been like a reporter doing her B plot this whole time, is now reinvigorated to do contests once more. So that wraps up what Team's Rocket development is for all this. We cut to the farewell scene between May and everyone else, including Zoe, Dawn, Ash, and Brock. So
yeah,
she gets on the boat, and Brock's like, "You won't get my cooking when you're not with me," or something.
Hey, you're gonna eat not great food from now on. Yeah. Remember, I fed you. You owe me. Nobody will ever match up to me, Brock, the greatest cook.
She just awkwardly laughs. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to say here.
Yeah, sure, Brock. Your sloppy joes are amazing. Look, I'm gonna go to Johto and eat your decent food.
Your jelly donuts.
Your jelly donuts made out of rice. What were you thinking, Brock?
Ash does give her the final handshake, which is kind of nice to see, and she sails off into the sunset, saying goodbye to everyone. And the curtain falls as the narrator closes out this episode here, with Dawn as the winner and May never to be seen again.
Oh. Not in this series.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this one. But yeah, that wraps up the Wallace Cup with episode Strategy with a Smile 25 of Battle Dimension. Greg, what are your thoughts on this
episode? Like, they kept it pretty tight. The battles were, I mean, the only thing I think that felt sort of long, the May and Dawn battle felt a little long, but I don't begrudge them for that, because this is like what everybody's waiting for. Like, you're gonna focus on these two. I think they did really good character stuff with all of them for this episode. It didn't feel, there weren't a lot of moments in the episode that felt like you could cut this and nothing would change.
Hmm.
So I think they did a good job with. I like it's an enjoyable. It was a good way to end it. They gave Dawn the W, so good for her. It was good to see May. Like it's a good episode.
Yeah, a lot of action. We got like 2.5 battles in here basically, and it didn't feel like it at all. It was just like fairly well paced. I think everyone got to show their strengths as well, which I think is sometimes the dilemma that you get with these big rostered events, and you want to show that people are capable, but also not to upstage someone else. So yeah, overall pretty solid. I kind of wish this pacing was more present in the previous episodes leading up to this, because they don't do as great as a job in those, and it feels like you could cut half the episode maybe, or just put it somewhere else, because they kind of fit in some lore about like Valor, Azoth, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, this episode definitely has a nice finale to it. So I think we'll give this like an 8 out of 10 actually.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8. It's a very solid episode.
Definitely, yeah. And to the Wallace Cup, which the rules of we'll never officially know, but we know there's some water type bias in there.
Yeah. Look, it's the Wallace Cup. Wallace is there. It's a good cup.
Good cup, yeah. Wallace, okay, I was hoping to get more dialogue or like something conclusive from Wallace, but we don't even really get a goodbye from him.
Nah, he's like, look, my Milotech knows 5 moves. Haha, Wallace out.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get.
That's all you get.
Maybe if he had like a little performance at the end or something, but who knows? He's too busy with Steven and Masters, apparently. But this takes us to the next episode in the series, which is episode 26, titled The Thief That Keeps on Thieving. In short, I'm not even going to read the blurb. Team Rocket wins. Boom. Okay,
this episode makes me so mad.
Please do tell.
Okay. Why haven't they been doing this forever?
Yeah.
The simplest thing, and it's not even stealing.
Right.
Really? It's letting some other chump do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, the chump this time is a real big chump.
Mega chump.
Oh my.
Not Mega Garchomp, just chump.
Tyler, get a spine.
Hey, he's been a trainer for a week. Give him a break.
No!
Why?
You're chasing a Yanma.
It has speed boost!
3 days.
Yeah.
Not hours. Days.
I really don't know why they made it days. That seemed like a lot.
For 3 days in a place that is seemingly teeming with Yanma.
Hey, he has an emotional attachment to this one. It touched him, okay?
How would he know?
Yeah. I guess it kept landing on his head or something.
As a plot point later, it didn't matter that much now, did it?
Hey, when you have friends like Ash, Brock, and Dawn, you can get over anything.
I mean, I guess.
Okay, we'll get into that. But to set up the context here, as our heroes continue on to Pastoria City, Dawn's admiring her aqua ribbon, still like processing, which I thought was kind of fun.
I mean, good for her.
Yeah.
Quote, we had to suffer through your sadness. You get
wow.
an episode and a half of happiness.
Remind me not to talk to you when I'm suffering of sadness, please. Okay.
I mean, I'll be emotional, but like, get over it at the same time.
It does feel weird that there's like 3 separate points where you think she's over it, but she's not.
I know.
So I'll give you that. But as they're traveling along, they find a Yanma who just takes turns landing on their heads as Dawn pulls out the Pokédex. And we find out that this young trainer is chasing this Yanma, so they go and just follow him, I guess, after he asks them to point them in the direction of a Yanma that came by there. And he starts battling it. until it gets away as he tries to use his starter Pokemon Piplup, which he's nicknamed Pippi. And
Pippi
the
Pippi's-
Piplup. To distinguish it from our other Piplup, it also has a little tiara on it. So, Tyler's having a rough time. He's like trying to battle. Ash is just yelling tips that aren't really helpful. And then they gets away, so they sit down with him and have like a little lunch break so he can explain that he just started on this journey a week ago. He wanted to catch the first Pokemon that he touched, which was this Yanma, because it loves just sitting on people's heads. And as Greg mentioned, it's been 3 days and they have not been able to catch this Yanma. But they go ahead and help him in looking for this Yanma a bit more, and Pippi, the Piplup, is able to do enough damage. Do you like the nickname Pippi, or is it too on the nose?
I mean, it's fine. Like,
Mm.
we already know Tyler is not a bright child, so
Oh man, you're not gonna give him the excuse that he's been on
No.
a journey for a week?
no.
Why not?
There are Pokemon schools.
Okay.
There are Pokemon professors.
Mm.
Plus, there's an old man in the first town you go to that shows you how to do this.
Well, as far as we know, not everyone goes to that old man in the anime.
Yeah, apparently they go to Ash. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I get what they're trying to do. They're doing this kit like, oh, every first trainer has a tough time catching their first Pokemon.
Right.
Like, and they go through like, we all did it.
Mhm.
But
Except Brock. They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
Ash caught
Brock,
Caterpie, Dawn caught Bunnyary, but Brock, we could forget about him. Like, what?
Brock got handed his gym title and some Pokemon. He's never had to catch anything in his life.
He got Zubat like the episode after we meet him, but sure.
I know. And then, okay, so they
Yes.
finally like knock out the Yanma, right?
Mhm.
And then they're like, he's gonna get ready to throw the Pokeball, and then they're giving him the most unhelpful interruptions about how to throw the Pokeball.
Mm. Mhm.
This is not Pokemon Go. Curveball don't matter. Curveball ain't been invented yet.
Yeah,
You
just
don't have a symbol.
chuck
Just
it.
throw the ball.
Chuck it.
Just chuck the ball. Doesn't matter.
But
Whip it at the Pokemon.
Team Rocket
But
pops
because
out.
they distracted him,
Right.
because it's their fault, because they were like, get into your head about how to throw this Pokeball,
Mhm.
Team Rocket swoops in and does the most intelligent thing they've ever done in their entire lives,
Which is
is legitimately catch a Pokemon that somebody else weakened. Like, why are you not hanging out and literally tormenting Ash every 5 seconds by snatching away? Because what are they going to do? What's
Uh-huh.
Ash going to do? Go complain to the Pokemon people? Like, well, who caught the ball?
Mhm.
It's registered to them.
Yeah.
Like, what? We don't even watch the battles. We don't know what happened. It's registered to them. It's legally theirs. Get wrecked, Ash.
Apparently, they've just been chilling in the submarine waiting for this to happen.
And it's sort of weird that they pop up at that point. Like,
Yeah.
yep, now's the time we're going to do this plan against this new kid.
Yeah, and I'm like, why? Like, what? Why Yanma? Why did it take
Why-
you 2 regions after we first met this Pokemon?
It's like, okay.
Sure,
Uh,
we understand why later, but
Right.
it's just like they clearly didn't know,
And then they escape.
right?
And then they try to find him in the water, but they can't.
Yeah, Brock somehow knows that all these places are connected underwater.
Yeah. Oh, they must have been through this vast network of underground. It's not. Some lakes are fed by.
I
but
mean,
it's tiny.
we're near Lake Valor, so maybe like.
That submarine is huge. It is not fitting through an underground aqueduct.
Well, they clearly use it later. I was going to say they abandoned it, but they don't.
No.
We get a devastated Tyler there, who is just like, I mean, if I were him, I would also feel really bad. Like, this is the crime that Team Rocket has done most successfully and most effectively to traumatize
Mhm.
someone.
Mm-hmm.
They all try to cheer him up, then are like, hey, let's go catch this other Yanma who happens to fly by. But the more interesting thing is happening with Team Rocket, who is like just overjoyed that they got this Yanma. They walk up to the hill as the sun's setting, and my favorite character from Team Rocket, Delibird, flies on in and is like, Delibird, I'm here to
Yeah.
take your package. Do you remember Delibird? This specific one?
I mean, vaguely.
Okay.
Like I remember, like, oh, Delibird's back. I don't know. I remember you being an important piece before.
Yes, back in Johto, he was kind of the like messenger for them and would like give them like mean notes from the boss or Butch and Cassidy.
Mm-hmm.
And then like fly away. But here, Jesse's like, all right, here's this package directed to the boss or addressed to the boss. And they're like, if you lose it, you lose everything. Which is like, jeez, okay. And it takes off into the sunset carrying their Pokeball all the way from Sinnoh to Kanto. So Delibird can go the distance clearly.
I mean, Delibird can jet or teleport or who knows. That happens fast.
Yeah.
This is one of my biggest complaints sort of about the anime and what they do. Like it really becomes apparent in Journeys.
Yes.
Is they make for plot sake, they make the world really small.
Right.
And it always sort of bothers me. Like there's these vast regions that humans have to take huge ships and airplanes to travel between.
Mm-hmm.
But like in an instant, also things can happen. It's just like, which is it? It has always sort of bothered me that they have never tried to make the Pokemon world feel really large. It always feels really small.
Yeah, I like back in Johto, there's an episode where they're looking for Kecleon on this blimp. And the takeaway I got from that at the end is Brock, Misty, and Ash are all like walking. They're like, oh man, wouldn't it be great to like travel through that? Like it'd be so nice and like cushy and everything. And then someone says, yeah, but we wouldn't get to meet all these Pokemon and people along the way. We do by just walking. So my interpretation is that trainers specifically choose to do that so that they can interact with more people more regularly and also catch more Pokemon. But given the amount of Pokemon we encounter and don't catch, that doesn't seem to add up.
Nah.
Hippopotas. But the Delibird does arrive back in Kanto, and the grunts bring up the ball to Giovanni, who is like, yes, what is it? And they're like, oh, we have this package from Jesse, James, and Meowth, some operatives in the Sinnoh region. And they're like, what's inside? Or he's like, what's inside? And they place it next to his laptop, which seems to be like modified to include a Pokédex scanner in it, basically. And it goes through.
I'm surprised that this exists. Like it's part of like the whole PC system. It's just in laptop form.
That's fair. Yeah, it's just kind of weird that it has to like break out. It's just kind of weird that it has to like pop out of the of the computer itself. Like, why not just have it like plugged in or something?
Why not just have whatever. It's anime tech.
Sure,
it has to do more cool things than just sit there.
It has to be fancy for some reason. And as it pops out, and he's just continuing to pet Persian, it goes through Yanma's moves, and it lists one of them as Ancient Power. He actually kind of thinks about it for a second, but then he asks, like, what's our stock of Yanma? And the grunts are like, oh, we...
Our stock of Yanma.
Yeah. What's our Yanma stock at? Like, are we up or down today on the Dow?
How's our 50 million Yanma?
Right, like
50 million and
like,
one.
Did you look at the database? Like, where are you keeping track of this stuff? It's like, yeah, we have a bunch of Yanma right now. So what do you want to do with it? And they don't say anything, or he doesn't say anything. And then we just cut to Team Rocket, who are sleeping in their hammocks, dreaming of their Sinnoh success from giving the boss this one Yanma.
Yeah, I mean, at least they know sort of the heights that they should be achieving.
Right.
They don't have any sort of delusions that
Mhm.
they are great.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this is
Back
a
to
success
exactly
for
what
us.
they gave. Yeah, this is good for us. We did a thing that we should have been doing all along.
Took us like 10 years, but we got there. At the same time as everyone's eating dinner with Tyler, Ash and Dawn show off their badges and contests to Tyler, who's like, oh, these look cool. And like, oh, wow, contests also look cool. And like, where was this kid going?
What was his plan?
Yeah. It's like, give me something. Like, make him like a character at least at this point.
I mean, sure, he's new. It just feels like he is the knockoff Ash. And it's like this kid, and then he's not even. They're like, let's find another Yanma.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have no other choice, and he's remarkably fine with all of this.
Yeah. His whole like character arc is
It's just
non-existent.
He is plot convenience character.
Yeah. I'm like, it's okay. It's just frustrating because there's clearly more that they can do with that.
Right.
But back at Team Rocket the next day, as they're getting ready, Delibird comes on in back to them, and he has something for them to sign, and it's Meowth using his paw print. And like, oh, that's perfect. Like that's how you sign things. Yep. And they're super excited because they're like, oh my gosh, it looks like he sent us back a Pokeball. What if it's like a Lucario? What if it's a Rampardos? And they're just like, it could be something amazing that our boss is thanking us with for sending a Yanma.
Yanma, yeah. It's a wild.
They have high hopes.
They have high hopes. I don't know why they would, because it's the exact same thing they sent it off in.
Right. Usually, I feel like characters can tell like when it's the same Pokeball, but
I mean they're not.
Yeah. Jessie with
they're just not.
Right. And Jessie with her starry eyes sends out the Yanma to some great music and it just stops when she sends it out. And Meowth does some mental gymnastics like I've never seen.
Oh. They go through a whole thing. And I suppose you have to, because really you're trying to ignore the reality that you just got wrecked. You just got the thing.
You got rejected with no excuse. Like, no explanation, basically.
Yeah. None. Not even like, hey, we have a lot of these.
Right, like,
you put it to use.
Give them something. Like, they did their job.
He doesn't care about about these people.
Clearly. But Meowth very much thinks the opposite, saying like, oh my gosh, he must be so thankful we sent him this gift. He had to thank us by sending us such an awesome gift in return.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
They're just overwhelmed by this revelation, quote unquote. And Jessie's like, well, I caught it, so I guess I'll keep it. And James like, yeah, that's fine.
He wants it.
Yeah. Jesse's like, though, I feel like the boss still got the short end of the stick for this. So they concoct a plan to say, hey, let's just catch another one and send it to him. And we'll like add it to the boss's private stock or something.
I feel like a letter or an email saying, we have enough, thanks.
Yeah.
Could have really helped Team Rocket out here.
Right.
But he doesn't even care about them that much.
He doesn't, but they still try, even if he doesn't. So, like, does he need to?
He should. That's what a good boss does.
That's fair. Hey, corporate Sinnoh, what can I tell you? We cut to the battle between Pippi and Yanma, and again they distract him, telling him to throw the ball when he was about to do that already.
Right, you don't need. You already went over this.
Yeah.
Quit distracting him. You know that in the distraction, he gets his stuff stolen.
Right. Like, did you learn nothing from yesterday? Come on. He's about to throw it. Team Rocket just slides on in, and they're like, "Hold up, no, we're gonna catch this."
Yeah, they come literally out of nowhere and block the path.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Just throw
What-
a ball again.
You throw a ball again. That was the plan that you went with
Right?
is the working plan.
I guess they just want to use the Yanma because immediately Jesse sends it out.
Yeah.
And like it's kind of hurts. Like if I were Ash or Tyler, I'd be like, like you're using the thing you stole against me.
It is like a big, hey,
Yeah,
suckers.
And Ash is like, I'm stepping in. Come on out, Chimchar.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's make this real.
Right. Like, okay, I'm done with this. Like, we're not playing anymore. Yama goes in with a wing attack, Chimchar dodges, and then it goes in for a flamethrower, which it just roasts this Yanma, which freaks out Meowth. And he's like, "What do you think you're doing to this gift we got straight from the boss?"
And then he decides to fight.
Yeah, a rare moment for Meowth going in with the Fury swipes. They're all fired up.
Good on you.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good move.
Their honor as thieves is being just torn apart right here. So it goes into Chimchar with the Fury swipes. Carnivine comes out as well, but Chimchar is able to get around them as they try to hit it with Sonic Boom and Bullet Seed, and it just uses Flame Wheel to hit both of them. So I'm like, ooh, good job, Chimchar.
Ooh, way to go, I guess.
Hey, super effective on both. It's not bad. And then Yanma, without any prompting, uses Ancient Power, which Brock recognizes, and hits Chimchar right in the face.
Rock type gym leader.
Yeah, that's true. Was Ancient Power, when was that introduced? I feel like maybe Gen 2 or 3, since I know Togetic can learn it.
Yeah, I want to say it's 3. It could be 2.
Either way, Yanma, having successfully used that Ancient Power, begins to evolve, which Jesse's and everyone else is just freaking out about. And we get the Yanmega now on Team Rocket's side. So, hey, maybe it was meant to be that Tyler didn't get this Pokemon because it looks too much like a villain now.
Yeah. Ancient Power came in Generation 2.
Okay, cool. And Dawn...
Yeah, it becomes Yanmega, which a name I've also was fine with until they introduced Mega Pokemon.
Right, it doesn't hold up that much. Yanmega is scanned by Dawn's Pokedex, and it says, when it flutters its wings, it creates a shockwave that can cause internal damage to its opponents.
Which is horrific. That is a horrific thing to say.
That's Pokemon.
I know. It's just an awful thought.
So, of course, Jesse's like, all right, you Sonic Boom, Yanmega.
Yeah. melt their innards.
Just cause incredible internal damage to them.
Yeah. They're twerps, so they'll be fine.
I was going to say, they're twerps, so they're disposable, but that works too. As they're just hit by all these Sonic Booms, it shows some serious firepower on their part. Knocking them all back. But as they're focused on that, the wild Yanma just flies away. So they call back their Pokemon and jump into the submarine to pursue this Yanma.
Why?
Yeah, I'm like, you're winning. You have the Yanmega. Like,
you have the Yanmega.
Right.
There's a lot of other Pokemon around.
You'll be fine. They lose track of it, of course, even after quickly taking off after it. But Jesse's still like, hey, we still have this Yanmega, which is super cool. They're like, hey, wait, doesn't it need Ancient Power to evolve? And are asking, when did it learn this?
When did it learn this? It must have learned it for us.
Right. Meowth is like...
Or it had it the entire time.
Yeah, I'm like, did you not check before you sent it? Like, what?
No, they don't check. They don't check anything.
Hey, they don't have a Pokédex, so I guess that's it.
They packaged it up and sent it off.
And they wanted
How have they not
Mhm.
in the 100 years that they've been doing this, not stolen a Pokedex at this point.
Right, you'd think. They do get one in Journeys, don't they?
I think so.
I feel like they get like an evil one or something. It's weird, but Meowth tries to explain like, oh man, the boss must have tossed this in for us. That Yama knows ancient powers, so it would evolve as a present.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
they make a lot. They just make a lot to make themselves feel better. I don't blame them. They're
Right.
not getting good. They're not getting good feedback from their boss.
Very poor performance reports quality right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just okay. Cool.
Yeah, and Mega is purged. It looks great actually on Jesse's head. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, it does.
And,
I agree with that.
yeah, I'm like, I want to see the contest costume she makes to match Mega. That'll look great. But she's had one for like Survivor before. So Brock shows off that he's made a Pokemon food mixed with some berries that Yanma or like bug types, I guess, like. And now they're using that as bait to catch a Yanma. Like, it literally could be any Yanma. Yeah.
At this point, they're just like, let's get this done.
Yeah, like, don't tell Tyler, but we know it's not the same one.
No, it's not the same.
He doesn't even know.
He's not a bright child. Just, let's just get going, and we'll just deal with it.
And they're like, Pippi goes in with Pound. Yama gets hit as it's eating.
Yeah, which is rude.
Yeah.
Let the thing eat.
And it looks like it's knocked out actually for a sec.
Yeah.
So big Pound energy, I guess. Of course, because they're still near the water. I'm like, get out. They have a submarine. But Team Rocket pops out of the water and show off their Mega. And again, Ash is like, no. I'm having enough of this. Weasel, come on out.
We're done.
You guys should have blasted off like 10 minutes ago.
Whatever this is needs to be done.
Exactly.
I'm not spending another minute with this kid.
Right? Like, hey, I need to get my badge. Like, hold, like this.
Like, I was going to a gym battle.
You're behind schedule. I'm not having it. Yeah, Mega sends out ancient power. Weasel is able to dodge it pretty easily, and then goes in for an Aqua Jet, which Meowth says, "Oh no, our present's gonna shrink because water, I guess."
Yeah.
And Weasel then gives Mega a taste of its own medicine by launching Sonic Boom, and it just crashes into Team Rocket, which completely just like mortifies them, basically.
Right. And rightfully so at this point.
Yeah. Pikachu uses that opening to hit them with Thunderbolt, and the rest is history as they blast off, questioning if they should send a picture of themselves with the Mega to the boss. And then, which I'm like, yeah, that'd be fun. Do it. I want to see what happens there.
Bless their hearts.
They do enjoy Mega with them, though, as they go off into the clouds, as usual. Okay, as much as Tyler can be a pain, he has a decent little battle here with Yanma. He starts off with Bubble. Hey, okay. Sure. So he starts off with Bubble, dodges Yanma's wing attack, and then as it goes over to the water, it actually dives right on in. Which is like, oh cool, we're actually going to use this water that we've been circling for like the last 20 minutes. Jumps out of the water to use Peck, which makes a direct hit. And then Yama tries to hit it with a Sonic Boom underwater, but then it just dives down under to dodge it, and then comes back up with another bubble attack. And after a bit of that, it comes down to a Peck, where he uses a Pokeball, but it breaks out actually. So, hey, Tyler's learning Pokemon can break out of balls. Good job. I think we've only seen this with like Weasel so far, actually.
Yeah.
So not the like maybe some added suspension. Mm-hmm.
I feel like just give it to him the first shot. Like it's been 4 days.
Right. Yeah. He does then succeed with his second Pokeball, catching it, and that's pretty much it. Tyler finally got his second Pokemon after the assistance of all these people, after getting robbed. and Ash and everyone says goodbye to him as Brock like gives him some food or something in like a little bag. And they're like, yeah, good luck with whatever you're doing. You never really told us your goal besides catching Yanma, but I'm sure you'll be great.
Yeah, you'll be great. Good luck.
This kid's totally joining Team Galactic.
Oh, yes. He won't even know why. He doesn't even understand the reasons why, but they're like, oh, somebody wants me.
Someone doesn't like just steal my Pokemon. If I steal them,
If I steal them, then I'm the winner.
right. I'm the one who has the happy ending in that case. So, hey, maybe if I steal them, they'll evolve. Like,
yeah, that's the lesson you learned. Stealing equals evolution.
Exactly. But yeah, that wraps up this episode of Diamond and Pearl Battle Dimension, the thief that keeps on thieving. Greg, what are your thoughts on it, and what would you rate it?
It's not a good episode.
I like Team Rocket's part, but
I like Team Rocket's part, but I mean, again, this is like the absolute definition of filler.
we do get new party member with Yanma and Yamega. Does that also
Team
count as
Rocket.
Oh, so if it's Team Rocket, it doesn't. It still counts as filler for you.
Yeah, they are not the main characters. They're not.
Uh-huh.
And also,
Mhm.
they could have made this more interesting by stealing a Pokemon out of the hands of Dawn or Ash instead of this loser kid.
Yeah. How would
Like-
would that feel like, would that be irritating though, like every time we see them use this Pokemon?
Yes.
I feel like after
I mean-
I don't know, I feel like that's a step too far for Pokemon.
They have a move that can liquefy your insides.
Yeah.
And this is a step too far. This is the step too
yeah,
far.
it's about my emotions, okay?
I mean, the Team Rocket stuff was funny, but that was literally like 5 minutes of the episode.
Yeah.
The rest is just a whole lot of meandering and a whole lot of plot convenience.
Hello, Tyler.
And I don't know what the payoff was other than to get Team Rocket
Right.
Yanmega. Like, you could have done that anywhere.
Uh-huh.
It's so weird that we spent this much time on it.
You could have had them very much separate. Like, hey, they run into Tyler, who's like, oh, I was about to catch my first Pokemon, and it got stolen by Team Rocket.
Yeah.
And then they just help him with that, and they don't even meet Team Rocket as they, like, figure out how to use this Yanma or something.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just weird.
Mhm.
I left the episode thinking, what was the point? And anything where I'm like, what was the point? I'm like, yeah, it's not a good episode for me.
It's like, it feels like it could just be split in so many better ways.
Yeah.
I liked seeing Team Rocket get a new Pokemon that has like something specific to Sinnoh about it, where you couldn't get Yanmega before this generation. Team Rocket like does the smartest thing they've done ever. Like, there's just nothing impacting our heroes moving forward from this.
Nope.
And it didn't necessarily need to be them stealing something directly from like Dawn or Ash or Brock or something, but just something else, like giving them a stake in this episode other than like, we need to help this kid.
Yeah.
Would have made it a bit more
we need to do charity.
right. Like give me some more invested for them. So I think I'll give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Greg, what would you rate it? I'm not sure if you said that already.
Oof. I'm gonna give it a 4.
A 4? Okay.
It's only that high because the middle Team Rocket parts were fun. That was like a funny little bit, but other than that, it's pretty much a useless episode. And it's like coming off of a really good episode also probably made me dislike.
Yeah. What do you think about Jessie getting this new party member?
I mean, she needed a bug.
Why did she need a bug?
Because she got rid of Dustox.
Okay, so Bug has to replace Bug?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it works.
Snake replaces snake, bug replaces bug.
Yeah, like that is the Team Rocket thing.
I do like it for her. It's like the sleekest Pokemon she's gotten since Seviper.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she could have caught it earlier or caught something else earlier. Like she hasn't caught anything new in Sinnoh until this episode.
Yeah.
And James got Carnivine in like the second episode, and I always see Jessie more as the battler, so it was kind of weird that James had more Pokemon than her. But yeah, I think it's a good addition, rounding out her team a bit more. It's like it's a Pokemon that I think is still like sinister looking, but I would want on my team myself if I was playing the game.
Yeah.
So good balance there in terms of appeal. And yeah, if maybe question of the week would be, what other Sinnoh Pokemon would you want Team Rocket to add to their team? We know Team Galactic has some, so if you can remember those, maybe something a little different. Though they are a lot of good fits for them, I'd say.
Trying to think of Sinnoh specific.
Mm-hmm.
It's Honchkrow this generation?
Yep.
I can see them with a Honchkrow.
Yeah.
Team Galactic has a Honchkrow, don't they?
Yes.
What about does somebody have a skunk tank?
Yes, Cyrus has Honchkrow, and then Jupiter has a skunk tank.
Spirit Tomb.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Give James the Spirit Tomb and let Spirit Tomb try to eat James' head.
We did see them interact with a Spirit Tomb. It didn't go well for them, but maybe.
But hey, get another 100 and whatever souls. Try a different. Maybe this set of souls is happier.
I wouldn't mind if they got something like a Chatot. Like, it's something that is kind of non-assuming, but also could be really annoying to them at the same time as their opponent.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen Chatot be used very strongly. I don't know why. I think it's just because they had it in the movie and also appeared some in Battle Frontier, but I think that'd be kind of a neat little addition that they like inadvertently have joined the team or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our question of the week there. What is a Sinnoh Pokemon that you'd like Team Rocket to maybe add to their team? Just to add some more diversity on there.
Ask me who I'm bringing to the Wallace Cup.
That's my second part. Greg, what is your Wallace Cup entry, since we've asked the last few co-hosts and you did have the finale here of the Wallace Cup?
Palkia.
Stop. Okay, you're out. Disqualified immediately.
Why? It's a water type.
It doesn't fit on the stage, sorry.
Oh. It can fit in the water.
Oh, man. What would your appeal be? Tell me what your appeal would be if you used Palkia.
Which one is it?
Spatial Rend.
No. Yeah, Spatial Rend.
And that's it?
Rend the stage. That's all you need. You rip the stage apart.
All right. Any other moves?
My true answer I would bring a Lumineon. I do like the Finneon Lumineon line.
Yes, they are neat. We saw Zoe use Finneon, and that was cool. And they look different enough that I think they could have different appeals. One's a little more like fast little fish, and Lumineon's more like big showy fins.
Using the attract fins. Captivate the audience. Aqua ring it up and then bounce to the ring that it made.
Oh yeah, it knows bounce. That's true.
It also knows Silverwind, so
yes. We
take that, Beautifly.
Well, we got Zoe using Finneon, and immediately Dom was like, "Oh, that's why they call it the Beautifly of the Sea, because it uses Silverwind." Yeah. So yeah, definitely a cool little aspect to it. I think Lumineon is underrated with that moveset. just for like the type diversity it brings there. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this episode of Sights on Sinnoh. Next time, we're going to have a little special episode. Well, next time, just because we're out of order recording these a bit. Next episode, yeah, we're going to get some time with Manny going over Chimchar as well as Krogunk. And then after that, we are going to get a little breakdown of a special 2-part episode with Greg and Brady. So be on the lookout for that. And Greg, if they want to find you on the internet, where can they do that?
Go to Twitter and look for @WhiteWing, and all the stuff that I do is linked there.
God, I was about to say Lysander. I'm glad you you said it instead. But yeah, go ahead, check that out there. I'm on Twitter @WillBeTeasing, on Twitch sometimes as well. And yeah, until next time, we will see you. Oh, well, actually, pro tip. Go download Pokemon TV on your Switch if you haven't already. It's there. Like, I've been watching it for years on mobile and desktop, and people should know about this. Like, just free anime to check out. And yeah, you can catch all our episodes there, as well as our episodes of Sights on Sinnoh in this playlist on YouTube. I've been Will.
I've been Greg.
And we will see you in Sinnoh. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.